Hey game designers, welcome to part 2 of the Homer illustration tutorial. We're going to start where we left off, which was the right eye. Let's go ahead and turn off our work right now, and let's just go ahead and create a new layer. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on the left eye now, which is Homer's left eye. From our perspective, the right eye. Now, some of you guys might be inclined to use an oval here, but because the eye is behind the outer eye, but in front of the eyebrow, but behind the nose, it's actually not a good idea to make a oval for this. So we're just going to use the pen tool. And again, I'm going to go ahead and go black on black, or no fill here. I'm going to go ahead and put a black fill for you guys to see the strokes that I'm working with here. And I'm going to start basically on the left side of the eye where the eye would be if it were not behind the right eye. Because again, we might decide to animate it and split his eyes and do other things. So I'm just going to go ahead and start here. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to pull up. I'm going to hold Alt again while keeping the button dragged so that I can create and unlink the handles. I'm going to go ahead and go over here, pull just a little bit, maybe not too much here. And I'm going to just go ahead and unlink the handles. So I'm just unlinking the handles very quickly here. Go to the edge of the eye. I'm going to pull down, hold Alt to unlink the handles, go to the nose, pull just a little bit here, hold Alt, and kind of go to the upper left here to go along the nose. Go to right here where the nose is, the start of the nose here, and try to get it as close as you can. I'm going to hold Alt again to unlink the handles. Then I'm going to let go of my mouse first, then let go of my Alt key. Then just click back at the beginning. Okay, so you can see here that it's not even that close, but that's not the point. Once you kind of got all your knots decided, we're going to go ahead and start fixing it up. So I'm going to click on the first one. This one is way too long, so I'm going to kind of move it down here. Apply something like this. Okay, I'm going to move this. This is also too high. So I'm going to go something like this. And I'm going to go ahead and move this knot a little bit down here. Okay, and maybe right this along the nose a little bit more. Go over here, maybe make this a little shorter. Now, for the purposes of illustration, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And I'm actually going to turn off my blue stroke because it is much easier to see your lines when you don't have a stroke. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to see if I can fix this up a little bit. Now remember that the more straight your handles are, the more better or smoother your curve will look. Okay, so again, the straighter they are, the more curve you're going to get. Something like that. Everything looks good. Now let's go ahead and turn on the stroke now. Black stroke, and let's go white fill. And see how it looks. Looks good here. Let's go ahead and turn on the other stuff. And you can see here that I have it on the wrong layer, right? The Homer's left eye has to be behind his right eye. So I'm just going to pull this layer down so that I have it in the proper layer here. And I'm going to go ahead and rename it right eye. Now, because he doesn't have his pupil, it's still kind of hard to determine if this looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and do the pupil real quick. I'm going to turn off all my other layers here. I'm going to create a new layer. Go to my tool here, go to ellipse tool, and I'm just going to do black on black. Okay, I'm going to start in the center. I'm going to hold shift so that it stays in a circle, and I'm going to hold alt as well so that it centers on where I clicked. I'm going to go about 14 pixels because my other eye was 16 pixels. So that looks good, and I think I'm good. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this thing right or left pupil. I think I named the other one incorrectly. I'm supposed to say left, not right. It's my right, but his left. So left pupil. Okay, and let's go ahead and turn on everything and see how everything looks and see if we need to fine touch any of the eyes. I'm just going to click on a different layer here. And it looks good. Maybe it's not as round, maybe right here. So if you are inclined, you don't have to always follow the reference. If there's something that looks a little awkward, you can go in there and fix it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my pen tool here, and I'm going to fix up this eye just a little bit. Okay, keep it nice and bulgy there. Okay, I think that looks a little better. Yeah, much better, right? So again, um, I just wanted to point out that the cool part again about doing things like this is that you can make changes relatively short, and I'll show that in a minute. But before that, let's go ahead and start organizing. So we have these two objects or these two layers that represent the eye. I want you to do is hold control and click on one and hold control and click on the other. And now we can use this new folder button and it will put both those layers in a new folder. We're going to call this the right eye. And when you do something with the left pupil and the left eye, I again renamed it wrong. This is the left eye. I'm going to hold control on both of these, click on the new folder, and I'm going to rename that by double clicking on folder 1, and it's going to be the left eye. And I can actually do two folders in one folder. So I can click on both these folders, click the new folder button, and call this eyes. Okay. So if I were inclined, I can turn off the eyes by simply clicking on this one. Now I can show you again that the great part about vectorizing and putting in these separate layers is that you can make very easy changes in expressions by using the tools that we have here. So for example, if I zoom in on the eyes and I wanted to create a different expression, I can kind of put his eyes somewhere like here and go to his right pupil and do something like this and zoom out, and guess what? My Homer now looks like he had too much to drink, right? So it's kind of cool, again, just so that we have access to these little, layers and make really different expressions without doing much work at all, okay? So I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna go ahead and do the mouth next, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the stuff that I did. I'm gonna turn off this and I can collapse this so it makes it nice and easy. Now I'm just gonna create a new layer and I'm gonna work on the mouth. Now before you work on the mouth, let's check if we have the color. I don't have the color for his beard. So I'm gonna go back to my original reference here, turn back to opacity back to 100, use my eyedropper tool, which is underneath the crop tool. Click on his beard and you can see here that the color has been added to my swatches. Go back to my new layer, or go back to my illustration, or my reference, go back to 50% opacity. Let's go to layer 1, and let's go ahead and get started with his beard. All right, so let's go ahead and get the pen tool out here. And I'm gonna again go no fill, black stroke, so that you guys can see. And I'm just gonna start on the right side here with my pen tool. So again, I'm gonna go out. Again, I don't wanna bend it too much because I wanna keep it smooth looking here. So I'm just gonna bend it a little bit, or unlink it and bend it a little bit here. Go to the top and try to keep it straight. Hold Alt to unbend it just a little bit to unlink them. I'm gonna go to the front of the mouth. Hold Alt just to again unlink the handles. I'm gonna go here to the bottom of the top lip. And you can see here that my other one was a little bit too long, so that's okay. I'm just gonna go forward and change it later. And I'm gonna move this forward. Now, some of you guys might feel that we just can do the outline of the mouth and then create a path or just a small stroke for the inside mouth, but that would not give us access to how to make his mouth move. So if we wanted to create an animation where he moves his mouth, it's best that we have another anchor in here or another knot in here and then a knot out here. So I'm gonna go basically knot here, then knot here. So I'm gonna stick a knot over here and I'm gonna bend it a little bit to give it like an upper lip appearance. And I'm gonna hold Alt and swing the other one back in. So basically the two paths will kind of go along each other. I'm gonna stick it down here and I'm gonna pull, hold Alt, kind of go down, go to the bottom here, hold Alt, pull it down, go to the bottom of the beard, pull it to the left, hold Alt, click back at the beginning, and voila. Okay, now let's go ahead and do some fine touches here. I'm going to start with this one. This one's a little bit too big. I'm going to kind of pull it in a little bit. This looks good, actually. This looks good. Here, obviously, I need to fix this handle. This handle's way too tall. Kind of tone it down a little bit. Maybe tone it down a little bit here. And maybe extend this one a little bit more. Again, the straighter your handles are, the smoother your curves will look. This looks good. This looks good. I can probably fix this one here. Sometimes if your handles are too long, they'll actually create like a stroke going backwards. You can fix that by kind of going in Okay, or you can even collapse these handles all together, like you don't need them. So I think if I double left click, that will actually, no, that will not, that will just realign them. I think if I hold Alt, let's try this again. If I hold Alt double left click, it will collapse them. So it won't even have any handles at all. So now it's literally just uh, a straight line, but maybe I do want to, give it just a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of go in right here and fix this one up a little bit, just to kind of create like a little bit of a mouth. Okay. And again, this is up to you. This is just something artistic that we do, just to see if you want to create that feeling that there are two lines over there overlapping. I'm gonna go back to this stroke and kind of lower it down just a bit, and I think I'm good. Okay. Now I'm ready to go ahead and color in the beard. I'm just gonna go to fill here, click on a color fill. I'm gonna click on the color picker window, and even if my color is not here, I can go to my swatches, click on that brown, hit OK, and now I have his beard. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got so far, and we are starting to look like Homer, right? We are definitely starting to look like Homer. That's all for this video, guys. I will do part 3, and we'll probably finish up the rest of the face in part 3. See you guys next video.